Hello everybody, it's January 2nd, 2022, Happy New Year. I've got no idea when you're going to see this video, but it certainly isn't January 2nd because we are about to embark on the biggest project and I think the most transformative project on this house so far. So if you've been watching my content for a while, you'll know that we moved into this house, I think it was April or May last year, and we did loads to it. We also did loads to it really quickly because at the time Sarah was pregnant and getting more and more pregnant, and there was a bit of a rush on stuff. This was always the biggest thing to do, and it was always going to take too long, so we just sort of held off. But now we're coping with Margot really well. You know, we're not new parents anymore. You know, we're kind of managing everything. We thought, well, let's kick the year off with momentum and start the moves to get this work done. So this is the kitchen. The kitchen's actually a really wonderful size already. It's going to be bigger soon. But it's just used, the space is used terribly. What I'm going to do is going to start at the front of the house and sort of show you how it sort of doesn't work for us, right? I'm going to keep it brief because you have seen this kitchen before, but I want to kind of give you sort of the view. This is my front door. It needs painting, but ignore that. What I want to show you is what happens when you walk through the front door. Firstly, you've got this beautiful hallway that we've renovated, and you can see right through to the other end of the house. At the moment, it's not done justice because it's not pretty. What you actually see is the clothes horse here and the washer and the tumble dryer. It's a weird use of space. I mean, look at the size of this space here. For a kitchen, that just makes no sense. It's not functional. It's massive to go between the sink and the oven, but also because we've got this whole area here, right, you then could make so much more use of this space if you just moved that further that way. There's just so many things about it that I think whoever designed this was lazy and just sort of went, no, that'll do. And when we bought this house, this was the thing that I said to Sarah. I was like, I can really see this. And she actually didn't want to buy the house because of this room. And I was like, no, promise me, I promise you, it's gonna be fine, we can do it. So now I have to make good on that promise. So what we're going to do, we are adding like a utility space and a downstairs toilet because we haven't got one here. And actually, for one thing, that adds value to the house, but also we've got a baby and we're going to teach her to sort of start potty training soon and everything. Having a downstairs toilet is so handy, so you're not carrying a toddler, running her up the stairs and, you know, being too late. But we're also extending out to about where the paving slabs ends. There's much more space. The idea being we're going to have a wonderful kitchen space, but also then sort of a communal area at the end here. Now we're working with Wickes on it. We have a meeting tomorrow with I forgot what his job title is, but he basically helps you design the kitchen. And we're going to sort of talk through. I had a phone call with him the other day, just before Christmas, so he knows our vibe. So he's actually, I think he's mocked something up for us already, so we're going in tomorrow to pick things and choose things and touch things, and yeah, it seems to be finally happening. So this is the beginning of a big renovation. Here we are. I have spent more time in this store than I care to mention, because this is actually, it's about a mile away from our house, and obviously I've been renovating the house. So before Margot was born, in fact, this is Margot's first trip. I love it in here, and I know it like the back of my hand now because I spent so much time just getting bits and bobs to fix the house up. But now we're doing the kitchen, which is obviously beyond anything I can do. So we have a meeting with a lovely, I'm holding a child's shoe because it just fell off as I got her out of the car. I got a meeting with a man called Tanim. The thing about kitchens is, I always think, I've had a few kitchens designed in previous houses, I always think it's best to talk to an expert because unlike the other rooms in your house, it has to be sort of fairly ergonomic in that there's a flow. You go from chopping your food to cooking your food to the sink to the dishwasher, and there's like, you have to do it in a certain order in order for yourself to not be going backwards and forwards in your kitchen constantly trying to find things and, you know, wasting time in the wrong drawers, and it kind of has to make sense. So it's always better, I think, to talk to an expert. So let's go in. If the shoe fits, Margot. Is that on the wrong foot? No. There's not really any preference at this point, is there, I suppose?
It actually doesn't quite fit because she's got feet like mummy, wide feet.
Come on, Cinderella. Get it on.
Oh.
This is great. So this I love. I don't think Sarah likes the green though, do you, darling?
That's
Green.
the same colour as our living room.
Right,
It's a
and
bit
you
too much.
and I think you come from a green living room to a green kitchen, might be too much. I love green. I've managed to sneak a lot of green into the house, but Sarah's not so keen. But this comes in different colours. What we do like, I think, is this sort of shaker style. So it's a more traditional cupboard look, you know, where you've got the border around them. And it, you know, as opposed to something like this, which is much more sleek and modern, which is nice, but I don't think would really suit our kitchens so much.
But see how you can kind of see more of the grain, is that right?
Yeah.
I like that you can actually
Yes.
see that that's...
I like this is very similar to our old kitchen, right, in our old house.
Yes.
I like this a lot, and I like this colour as well. And I also like the hardware. Of course, you get to choose different hardware
Yeah, I
on
like
everything.
those hardware. I like...
What's in there?
Oh, lovely.
Oh, look at all that space.
Oh, and LEDs. Wow.
Oh, LEDs. That's really
Yeah,
fun.
look.
Go on, open up. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. I like this island. I like how the corners are rounded, so that there's less chance of Margot whacking her head on them. I like the wine rack, I suppose. I think I prefer this island over here because it's more rounded. And I like, you've got that sort of the wine section here, right? But nice big corner storage.
And my parents growing up, we had sharp edges,
Yeah.
like a sticky out, not really an island, what do you call it when it's just like an L shape.
Yeah.
And we all used to hit our heads on it as kids.
I've no idea what this is, but I know I'm going to love it because that would be dead space, right? But you pull this out and what is it, a chopping board? No, it's a tray. That's so clever, isn't it? Just making use of all the space available. So these are all the colours and finishes. I feel like, again, these are the more modern ones that I think probably isn't our vibe. So we're more over this way. I really like the Milton in Midnight. That's very nice, and you can sort of see the texture.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like the Chester in the green as well, but it's a bit smoother. There's no texture on it. And again, going from a green living room to a green.
Green is veto.
Yeah, green's vetoed, I think. I'm sat down, poor old Sarah's standing, rocking Margot because she won't sleep. Tannen is here, he's our design consultant, right? And he has, we gave him before Christmas the architect's plans. So he's used them, plus a conversation that we had before Christmas, to sort of mock something up. Obviously now we're here and we've touched and we've felt things might change slightly, but all I can see so far is sort of the black and white plans. He's about to show us what it all looks like. I didn't think about putting the fridge there, that's clever. We're actually building it as we speak right now, so we're choosing the countertop. So this is the door we're going for, the Milton Midnight. We're going to choose the hardware and the countertop.
I like that counter.
You like the counter, yeah?
That looks similar to, I've got my inspo image up.
Go on, show me your inspo image. Oh yeah,
I just
nice.
love that. And I
Yeah.
like those brass lamps that are hanging over the top as well.
All right, mission complete. Well, I guess not complete. The mission's just started. We made a few adjustments to Tannen's initial drawings based on some of the specific things we want. So we've gone for a slightly bigger oven because we wanted like a double space thing. We've gone for a different fridge that he picked. We've moved a few things around. I've got it all printed out. And I could show you, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait so you can sort of see it all in action. We've taken some time to really think about it before filming anything else because Sarah and I were really trying to sort of critique the kitchen that Tannen helped us kind of invent, I suppose. And actually, we can't think of anything else to change. It looks really functional, but it also looks really beautiful, really spacious. I think we've ticked all the boxes. About 2 hours after we had that meeting with Tannen, he sent us through like an itemized quote, exactly what is costing what. And because of that, we realized we had a little bit of extra wiggle room. So we've actually added in a one of those hot taps, which are brilliant. If you haven't used one before, it's basically boiling water on tap, so you don't need to worry about a kettle. Also better for the environment than a kettle because you only use what you need, and I don't know, something to do with the way it comes out of the tap. Anyway, plus kettles take up counter space, so very happy with that. The only things that aren't on the quote are the only things that we haven't chosen yet. So the beauty of doing it with Wickes is that you can do everything. You can do the kitchen, obviously, and the installation of the kitchen, but also the flooring and the walls and the tiles and the lighting and the whole shebang. We just haven't picked that stuff yet because we're not entirely sure what we're going to go for once the extension is done. It was all just really transparent and made sense. We know exactly what costs what in terms of the kitchen itself, but also the installation fee and everything. It's been, must be 2 or 3 weeks since I spoke to you last. The reason we haven't done anything for those 2 or 3 weeks is because we've been waiting on the party wall agreement. Now, for those of you who don't know, a party wall agreement is basically when your house adjoins somebody else's house, the wall that connects the two houses belongs to both of us, right? So I can't just start like taking parts off, adding parts on, messing with the structure without getting permission and without having evidence from an engineer that there'll be no damage done and everything on their side will be fine. But these things take time. One side of my neighbours on one side have just agreed everything because they're really happy and fine to carry on. The neighbours on the other side have got a bunch of questions, which are fair and they're valid questions. Some of them are a little aren't actually anything to do with the party wall and more just to do with taste, which isn't really of any relevance at this point. We are very, very, very nearly there. There's almost no update to give you in that. Everything is ready apart from one thing. The only thing we need is the party wall agreement to be sorted. I've been checking in kind of like every week or so just to sort of see how things are coming along. I spoke to the party wall surveyor yesterday. Unfortunately, he fell off his bike the other day and injured his wrist, so he's very slow at the moment. But he said that there is progress, so hopefully it could all be sorted like tomorrow. But it could also take another couple of weeks, and we're just sort of waiting. In the meantime, I spoke to Tanim, who you may remember is our design consultant, who designed the kitchen. The only thing we haven't actually sorted yet, or two things. One is the flooring in the sort of the whole space, and I've sort of suggested what I want, but I need to actually go into Wickes. I'm going in on Friday, so we can sort of choose it for real. The other thing is the downstairs bathroom stuff. So it's not really a bathroom, it's more of a water closet. It's literally going to have a toilet and a sink in there. I can show you the architect's drawings. It might take a bit of explaining for it to make sense. This space here, so this sort of darker line here is the kitchen as it currently is. As you can see here, we're adding like a water closet here and a little utility space here, right? So actually, in a way, the kitchen itself is getting a little smaller, but then this is the extension with the new area here. We are having this toilet here made, and now I need to basically choose what's going to go in it. I put you back on the table so I can show you here the trusty Wickes brochure. As you can see on here, like the guarantee is very clearly written in the corner. There's 25 years on it. Like that's, we're not going to be living here for this long. In 25 years, what am I? I'm 34 now. Oh my God, that's really depressing. I'll be so old by then. By then we'll have moved out. but it's really handy. And actually, like I say, I think we're probably going to go for something. Where did I see it? Was it on this page? No. Yeah, I think honestly, like this one here, it says like slim option. Something like that, wall mounted, really sleek, really easy. It's just kind of like a really convenient downstairs toilet, you know what I mean? So I don't think it needs to be really cluttered. It's going to be really sleek and organised. That's the plan. Building work starts in just a few days and I'm getting excited, as you can see from my wiggly feet here. I don't think I've shown you this yet. Wickes have given me like a 3D model of the kitchen, how it's going to be, and I'm just sort of looking through it because I can't wait to get started. You can also press this button here, and if you've got like VR goggles, you can step into your kitchen, which is super cool. So here's the new kitchen space. At the end there's the fridge. Behind that fridge is where we're having the new downstairs toilet, and then to the side of it here behind this cupboard is where we're having the utility sort of space. So in effect, the door to the kitchen is almost being brought forward a little bit. Then we have the kitchen space here, which just looks wonderful and such a better use of space. And you can see that because we sort of like made this more appropriate and slightly narrower, that means on this side we've got so much room for like a dining room table and everything. Around here, and we've got all of this room. Welcome back to the office. Okay, big news, the work starts tomorrow. I forgot to tell you this, but I've actually really lucked out in that, obviously, if this were just the kitchen itself, it would all take a matter of weeks, right? I'd talk to Tannum, he'd design the kitchen, measure up, it would go, get produced, out with the old kitchen, in with the new kitchen. Seeing as this is part of a much bigger build, we're doing an entire extension as well. The builder that I usually use, and have used in my last 2-3 houses, is unavailable and fully booked forever. But Wickes actually helped me out and put me in contact with the Wickes approved kitchen installer. He just so happens to also be a fully qualified builder with a whole team of people, so he's going to do the entire thing from start to finish. Now, what's really beautiful about that in particular is that because he's a Wickes approved kitchen installer as well, they're going to talk internally, basically, which means I don't need to micromanage. My project management of the whole thing, which by the way is not my strong point, is gonna essentially be done for me. His name is Amir. I've met him already. He's super sound. I think we're gonna get on really well, actually, because we kind of get each other and we're texting a bit and we've had a few phone calls. I really like him, so that's great news. What's kind of quite funny is that we bought the kitchen in January, right? It's been a few months since then because of all the paperwork to get the building work started. You know, you have to go through, jump through a bunch of hoops. It's been a few months since then, and it's going to take quite a while to do all the work. We saved a whole load of money on the kitchen by doing it in the winter sale. By the time this video goes live, I think we're going to be getting on for the next winter sale, which blows my mind. I'm about to leave the house when the work starts, and we won't be back for a while. One more thing I want to mention actually is the quality control, because I've got it written down in front of me here, and the guarantees you get are, I mean, they're going to last longer than we last in the house, which is really good to know. So you get a 2-year workmanship guarantee on the installer, so that's Amir and his team. You get 20-year guarantee on the cabinets, and 10 years on the doors and drawer fronts. We're not going to live here that long. In fact, oh my God, I'm 34. By the time the cabinet guarantee is up, I'll be 54. I mean, hopefully by then I'm like living on the moon or something. Welcome, everybody, to destruction. But destruction in a good way, you know? You got to break a few eggs to make an omelette. That being said, this particular omelette is quite messy because the builders arrived and they have started doing stuff. Have I mentioned that we're doing the garden at the same time? Because we're extending out, we figured that we may as well landscape design at the same time. So, builders so far have lifted all the turf off the garden, and they have also taken the paving up that was there before. I think the next step is to dig foundations and begin the build. It's all kicking off, everybody. Look at the kitchen. Wow. It looks massive. And this is before they've even done sort of the extension bit. They're digging the foundations at the moment. But this is definitely my cue to leave. The house is just dust everywhere. You know, it's just really, really messy. And because the dust just travels, like, it's not ideal for the baby. I've also got no kitchen, so we are getting out of Dodge. I don't think I'll be back now until like the actual kitchen goes back in. So I guess next time I see you, I will be really quite far along the process. Okay, I'm back in the house. I'm filming this on my phone because actually I wasn't planning on filming anything. I just came to collect some post, but there's been real progress. So I know it looks diabolical now, but actually, like, the main construction is done now. Like, we now just need to lay the actual floor, plaster the walls, put the doors on the back, and then put the actual kitchen in. It's been a while. I can't remember where we were last time because it's been at least 3 weeks, maybe a month since I've seen you last. The kitchen is going in. Still, I mean, actually the building is all done apart from we're waiting on the big windows here. The guy was supposed to install them yesterday, but actually has flu. And there is a pandemic going on, so we'll let him off. This is really constructive. Look, the fridge is in. kitchen's being fitted. I'm actually moving in today. I brought my suitcase with me. This is my first night here. I'm here on my own. The girls haven't moved in yet. I'm gonna sort of have a good old tidy up over the next sort of day or so, and then they will join me. There's still obviously loads of building material here and everything, and we've still got the floor protect down, but the kitchen is painted. The units are installed. We haven't got the work surface on yet, and as you can see, like all the lights are still like hanging out of the ceiling. Okay, I'm ready for the grand tour. The kitchen, the whole extension is done, the garden's finished, it all looks so beautiful. They literally finished minutes ago. In fact, some of the silicone around the edge is still a bit damp. So I'm multitasking. This one I've still got light, but also it's snack time for Margot. So if you hear any weird gurgles or odd noises, it's just the kid eating her dinner, basically. I think what we're going to do first is start in this section. I'm not going to show you in this cupboard because although it looks beautiful on the outside, on the inside is like the cupboard of doom. We've got the washing machine and the tumble dryer stacked on top of each other, which actually is really neat and tidy. But then, because again, some of the silicon's still wet and everything, we haven't actually put everything where it's going to be, so we've just rammed everything else in there in the meantime. So I'm gonna save you from that. In here we have the little WC, the downstairs bathroom here, which is going to be so. I mean, it's super handy to have a bathroom on this floor, but particularly handy for when we have Margot potty training. I'm not sure what to put in here yet. Either sort of more toilet rolls, but it might be quite nice to have one of those fragrancy thingies, you know what I mean? Diffuser. This is the mirror here, and the mirror has a very cool function that it illuminates. But when it's illuminated, because it's sort of backlit onto the wall rather than directly onto your face, it's actually surprisingly forgiving, which is really nice, because those mirrors that illuminate and like show every single pore are scientifically brilliant, but not good for people like me who pick. Right, Sarah's got the camera now, so you probably remember, in fact you will remember, because for you it was minutes ago, at the beginning of this video where we chose the colour and the style and all the hardware and everything, and how beautiful does it look like in real life, in person, like up close and personal. The countertop went down yesterday and it's absolutely stunning. This is one of my favourite cupboards, because actually this is a very narrow cupboard, right, and not great use of space otherwise. Margot likes it too, but actually when you open it up, it's so handy because it pulls out and it's got loads of shelves.
Yeah, I've organised it. Anyone that's like into kitchen organising, I've got it into each kind of like Asian spices, right. Different type, like cooking, like tomato ones. There's like different ones for each. I'm
not going to give you an entire.
Cuisine.
I'm not going to give you an entire tour of every single cupboard because we'll be here forever. But I do love the fridge. One of my main criteria for the house, for the kitchen, was a fridge with an ice dispenser and like chilled water. It's amazing. It's
I really like this cupboard here. So for them, it's probably like 2 minutes ago, but they will have seen us talk about the larder when we went to Wickes, which we actually couldn't fit it because it's like a corner unit.
Here we have the bin and the dishwasher.
Hot tap.
Hot tap, oh god, yeah, like for making Margot's bottles.
Jim, you're so tall. I'm like going in on the, sorry for anyone that's seeing this and they're going, God, that's wonky. I'm trying to like show you the details of the kitchen and how tall my husband is, so sorry for...
I mean, these are standard countertop heights. I'm just a big guy. This, for making Margot's bottles or making a cup of tea or whatever, just having instant boiling water on tap, you press this button and you pull it open and instant boiling water.
It takes a while to get used to the safety catch, but obviously safety is very important.
But it means no kettle, which means no more clutter. I have a drinks fridge here, which I adore, and everything sort of pulls out like this. There you go. And then actually,
also just going in on how nice that hardware is.
It's beautiful. And then round here, I have more space for more drinks. But and actually also more drinks. Margot thinks
that's funny.
I actually don't drink that much, but I used to make a lot of cocktail content and I like experimenting with drinks, which is why I've got so much of it. Is that the kitchen done?
That's pretty much the kitchen.
It is, honestly, it is the kitchen of my dreams. I'm so over the moon with it. I'm so entirely just chuffed to bits. It was worth every moment, and having Tanim, our design consultant, from the very, very beginning, and by the way, he's been checking in with us the whole time, and there's been a lot of things that have had to change pace as the build took longer because we've had a heat wave, we've had drought, and we've had all sorts of issues. He's on the other end of the phone and he'll just delay things or he'll speed things up, and there's been times where I've called him and gone, hey dude, can I actually just get this like tomorrow? And he'll arrange it as quickly as possible, so that's brilliant. Around this area here, we have all of my plants, which have made it. Sarah's not a big fan of my plants, but I love them. And I think actually it's the perfect home for them because they're just developed to just above them, so there's loads of light. We actually get, it's kind of, with the sun setting now, but we get the most beautiful light coming through here. In fact, what direction does our garden face? It's the good direction. Southern? Northern? I can't remember.
East, west?
It's the one where you get most light through. We're really lucky. So actually, with all the glass here, we get so much light coming through and it's beautiful. This I love, but I won't talk about it now because I'll be here forever explaining what it is. I'll do that in another video. It's incredible. Basically, I'm growing herbs. I'm growing herbs for the kitchen, like here. And this is the new area. We have a rug and a sofa. The cream sofa's an interesting choice, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a mummy's choice, which was a bit nuts.
Especially,
silly mummy.
Can you show her face right now? You're covered in crust.
Hello.
Darling.
Hello. And mummy got a cream carpet and a cream sofa.
Hey, you only live once. Here we've got like a Margot area, so we've got TV, Margot toys down here. We've got space here, which I think we're going to put like a TP in for her. Obviously we've got loads of pictures to go up on the wall and everything. This is sort of like the space that we haven't actually done much with yet, but that's to come. Rome wasn't built in a day. And then out here in the garden, we patioed the entire thing because actually we haven't got loads of space out here, and I thought having grass is a lot of upkeep, and then you've got to store a lawnmower somewhere, right? And it just sort of seems a silly use of space.
I mean, it's quite a rogue choice. But then when you look at a lot of, when we looked at a lot of houses around here, it's surprising how few houses actually have grass now.
That's the new kitchen. I absolutely adore it. It has been like such a fun process. It's been a lot because we've not only done the kitchen, we've also done the massive extension, and like it's taken time, but worth every second. Thank you very much to Wickes for working with me on this, because it's honestly been the kitchen of my dreams, and the process has been made much easier than I was expecting. And I am just made up, and now the house is basically complete. Love it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.